Hello, everyone. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yes, Friday. This week seems to have dragged on a lot. I don't know why.
Yeah,
it has.
It sure did.
It did. But now it's Friday. It means nothing to us realtors because we're just going to work all weekend long anyway. But
did you all know that in German, Friday is pronounced Freitag?
Is that true?
It is true.
Somebody look that up. I don't know if I believe
is
him.
day in German, just
Okay.
Yeah, Montag, Dienstag, Mittwoch. Mittwoch is midweek. That's. We're not doing a German lesson today. Let's get back on track, Hanson. Welcome to the Nicole and Craig show. Thanks for tuning in. We love you guys. You guys are probably watching us on one of our many platforms that John's got us on. We're on the Spotify.
YouTube.
We're on the Tick and the Talk. We're on
No, we're not.
We're on the Gram. We're on the Book of Faces. We are on the.
That's true.
What else are we on? Porcupine. We are on what's that other one with just the audio? Tinder. What's the other one we're on? We are on the menu at El Amigos restaurant.
No, he's
I
on
love
the
that
menu
restaurant,
at El
by the way.
Amigos, not me.
Oh, it's my favorite Mexican
me.
restaurant. Shout out to El Amigos, the friend. Hello, the friend. 2 pork sopes. That's what I get from there all the time.
What's
if you
a
haven't
sope?
got them, it's literally heaven on a plate.
Is that like a pita bread thing?
I'm not going to explain it to anyone. Just go get one. It'll be the best $3 you ever spend in your life. Get pork, all right? Get pork sopes from El Amigos. It's the best. All right, hold on. This is not a El Amigos shout out, but it is. But it's not. Let's be fair. Let's do the fair way to talk about all this great stuff that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about some great stuff today, and our main show topic is, guys, listen.
This was not my idea. I'm just going to say this was all his. So you
are
go right ahead.
99% of all of our shows.
Whatever,
But
that's not true.
last year was a tough year for a lot of people. All right. This is almost like the 1-year anniversary of the stay-at-home orders that came from the state, the governor and stuff like that in Indiana and a lot of states. So we're gonna do a show. There's a lot of negativity out there. Craig, I don't do negativity. I don't like it.
That's true.
Yeah. Or I like other things. I like positivity more. I shouldn't say I don't like it. That sounds negative. I like positivity more, and I'm bringing you some positive action, some positive answers and things, some wins from 2020. Right?
Yep. 5 wins from 2020.
Thank you. And we're talking from kind of the COVID start to now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's like a rolling 12 months.
Yeah, it's been like a year out. We want to do something fun today for the show. So what's number 5?
Numero 5. That's the 5th one.
Yeah.
Yep.
This might be a blessing and a curse right now. Rates equal low.
The rates stayed low the whole time.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It is. And I think, while the rates are low and it's great, so we have a lot of buyers right now. But with the shortage of inventory, I think a lot of you are feeling that pain right now.
Yeah.
But the rates being low have allowed buyers to keep buying homes, even with COVID and everything else we had going on.
Yeah, and you know what? It was a really weird year, but things still happen. A lot of good stuff. Even I remember it was like a couple of shows ago or something like that. My good friend Tracy was here telling me about how great the rates were. Right?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Sorry, Tracy. We had a thing if I could do some shout outs for you, and I said I could.
And Fairway, by the way.
And Fairway. So you'll see me keeping track of these on today's show.
I think those rates being low might be the fair way to go for rates.
Ooh, we'll give Nicole one.
Thank you.
Nice. Okay, so shout out to Chad and Kyle.
Yes.
Crad. I must combine the two. All right. So anyway, the rates stayed low. Okay, that's great. It sucks a little bit for buyers. Well, we're going to talk about inventory in a little bit, but anyway, yeah. Let's go into number 4. Anyway, here's number 4. Here's one of the bright sides. I will always find the silver lining. I'll always look on the bright side. I'll always do that. And one of the ways that I do it in this seller's market, I won't even get into the whole pandemic situation where I do think it's a plus, because if something more deadly got out there, at least we've had a dry run kind of as what we can do as a society and what works and what doesn't work. We have a little bit more data. So that's something important to keep in mind. The show's not about that though. The show's going to be, here's what it is. Okay, for the almost entire time in history, it's been a buyer's market in Northwest Indiana.
Yes.
Where we're at and most of the country, it's been a buyer's market. We're finally getting experience in a seller's market, and this is what we're dealing with. So we're getting an education right now. So if you're just starting in this market, okay, fine, but this is very atypical, right?
Well, yeah, and I was kind of talking to one of my new agents about this yesterday. It's like, this is one of the hardest markets that you're ever going to be in, and you started in it. So you're going to be a great negotiator by the time this comes out. And it's probably going to boost new agent experiences, and put them, at a level 2 or 3 year experience here right off the get-go, because for them to get any deals, they're going to have to be really good at what they're doing. So
that's true. You're really going to learn the thing. So I hope your managing broker, your team leader, whoever is telling you right now, this is not a typical market for any marketplace.
Nope.
I mean, this is the most dominant seller's market that we've ever seen in history.
Yep.
Since the Louisiana Purchase, I believe, is what we did the math on, as far as acreage for dollars, right? That's a funny
Something
deal.
like that.
You know the history on that. It's a good deal. Anyway, okay, so we're getting a lot of experience right now in a seller's market.
Yeah, and that's not typical. So for those of us that have been around a while, I've been, 10 years or so, I haven't seen this strong of a seller's market. So it's getting creative, thinking outside of the box, like what are you going to do? So I feel like it strengthens those people that have experience in that buyer's market, but now also have experience in the seller. And it's only going to make the great agents greater. I
think so. And I think this is tough for rookies in the marketplace. I really do.
Is, yeah.
But I do see a lot of, what impresses me is I see a lot of rookies really thriving right now. And that's cool. Yeah. That's cool, because if you can thrive in this market and you're working with buyers, then you're going to be dominant when it switches over to the sellers, and you're going to have insight to tell your sellers. Because most of the time, as a listing agent, which I would always credit myself as being more of a listing agent in my career, I have a majority of buyers or listing sales versus buyer sales. It is not always like that, and a lot of times I spend a lot of time talking to my sellers into lowering their price, things like that. Now I don't have to do anything. They tell me what price they want. I'm like, let's add something to it and let's sell it. But that's the market we're in right now. So anyway, we're getting a lot of experience in the seller's market. This is a great education, and this is like a master's class in how to represent sellers right now.
Yes. Well, and buyers too, I think.
Yeah.
Those of us that were around
you're right.
in 2008, 2009, 2010, you've done that. Now you've had a buyer's market, and now you're in a seller's market. If you've gone through all this and you've made it with your business, you're not ever going away unless you choose to. I mean, this is like the cream of the crop. Everything. Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of the way I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? She brings up a great point, and that is that number 3, the market stayed strong this entire time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And for those that knew how to capture on that and make sure, capitalize, that's it. Sorry. And just kind of make it through, it was tough for the team. We were flat over last year, but honestly, I count that as a godsend, because it really could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
And I just think that the interest rate staying lower, we did still have buyers out there. Once we kind of figured out how to deal with the pandemic and stay safe, I think that market stayed strong throughout the whole thing.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. And it was a really interesting, I mean, we kept waiting for real estate to collapse, and it never did. It was really strange. And it was weird with more and more transactions, and anyway, whatever. It was great.
Yep.
So the market stayed strong. So that was something, at least in such a turbulent year.
Yeah.
At least we also didn't have that to deal with for real estate agents.
I think that kind of rolls us into number 2, though.
Okay.
How did we survive this pandemic? How did we get that done?
Good segue, Hanson.
Thanks.
Good segue.
So for those of us who actually kept up on the news and all that other kind of good stuff, and what money's out there, what benefits do you have, all that kind of good stuff, RPAC really came through in a big way for all of us realtors by getting us, the independent contractor unemployment. First time in history I think that's ever happened. And
will you mute your stupid phone?
Sorry,
hey, everybody.
I was in the middle.
Sorry, everyone.
I was in the middle of a really.
Why don't you mute your phone while I'll finish this?
So anyway, RPEC did a really good job of including us in that gig economy, the 1099, and I think there's several of us who could say, we really benefited from that, even if it just supplemented your income or it was your only income. Some of you, it was your only income. It really helped us get through the pandemic, and without it, I don't think a lot of us would be here still.
I agree. And guys, this is going to be a big plug for RPAC right now. So if you're involved in the board or whatever, feel free to share this video out because and first of all, this is heartfelt for sure. RPAC, NAR, the National Association of Realtors, their RPAC committees reached out to Congress people all across the country and had realtors, specifically real estate agents, added to the pandemic unemployment assistance. As you all know, because we're 1099, we're self-employed, most of us do not ever qualify for unemployment.
Right.
Okay, so in most states, realtors cannot get, a self-employed person cannot get unemployment. NAR had the foresight to get us all included in the pandemic unemployment assistance approval stuff. And a lot of states, including Indiana, had to go through, had to fix their system to add venues because it could say, hey, have you looked for a job? And we say no. Normally, if you are a normal employee, if you don't look for a job, you don't get unemployment assistance.
Yeah.
Well, realtors, we do. So I said, do you look for a job? Nope. So we were honest. We got to tell the truth. No, we do not. And we didn't get unemployment money. We got pandemic unemployment assistance because the market changed. And the market did change. Yes, some of the real estate market is good, but usually the number of transactions was down. The volume of the property values, so production levels were up, but volume was down. Unit count was down, volume was up, things like that. So anyway, even with RPAC in a lot of states, or at least in our state, they have a minimum, I think it's a $35 or $25?
$25, I think.
$25, it's not a mandatory, because nothing's mandatory about that. But some agents would take that out of there. Don't do it. Give it to RPAC. RPAC's protecting our way of life and our career path and all that kind of stuff. If you're not involved with it, get with your managing broker, get with your board of realtors, talk to people. RPAC does so much for us, but this is, I think, the most underspoken about thing. And this happened right as the pandemic begun. RPAC was mobilized right then and there. And they did this before. They didn't even disseminate that to all the states or anyone. They just went out and did something that was amazing for everyone. Yeah. So I hope you took advantage of it.
It was a little painful in the beginning. You had to wait, you had to file, you had to wait, you had to file. But if you did it and followed the news and whatnot, you were able to really get some good assistance during that time that at least helped, food, your rent or home, your mortgage, stuff like that.
Well, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but also talk to your managing broker. There still is, that program was just extended to September of 2021. So if you still need help, look up pandemic unemployment assistance. If you are a sole 1099 person, you can still get it.
Yeah. And I do S Corp, so I got the PPP, and there's EIDL, there's a small business loans, there's a second round of small business loans and whatnot. So please make sure that you are, researching and figuring out what actually can help you out still in 2021.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to get to our number one point.
Number one.
Hold on.
Yeah.
We're going to take a moment, kind of, but not really.
Okay.
We're going to take a moment. Okay, here's what I was going to say for number one. We survived this, right? It was the weirdest year we've ever seen in real estate. Arguably, it's hard to argue that it is not the weirdest year. But anyway, first of all, most of us survived that. So for a second, I want to give a moment to, respect the ones that did not make it. Because realtors did lose a bunch of members, family members, friends. The pandemic is real. We lost some really good people that didn't make it. So I don't want to make light that is the number one thing that we're talking about. But we did. We did survive that. Unfortunately, there's some that did not. So I don't want to take anything away from that. But I do also want to say, for the ones of us that are watching this, we're still working hard. We're still trying to help buyers and sellers acquire property or sell property. So, we need to remember that thankfully we got to move forward.
Well, and I think it kind of showed the way humans always want to interact. We came up with very creative ideas to interact with each other. whether it was Zoom or through partitions or visiting loved ones outside of nursing home windows, like whatever we had to do, we figured out a way to survive and really, kind of move through this pandemic to the vaccine point that we're at now, where, lots of people are vaccinated, people are feeling more comfortable going out, doing the things they need to do. Our mask mandate has been lifted as of April 6th, but
I don't know if the county has, though. I don't know.
But I know the state, anyway, a lot of businesses are still requiring stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't wear masks. But we're kind of at that level 5 stage and all that kind of good stuff. And we could not have done that. We could not have done that without the participation of everybody. We survived because everybody worked together to do it. Where's your realtor mask?
John lost it.
That was true. That is a false rumor.
Yeah.
It's a false rumor. John did not lose it.
All right. So anyway, it was an interesting year. We had a lot of weird things happen, a lot of changes and things like that. A lot of us figured out how to work from home.
Yeah.
A lot of us figured out that we can still go show houses. And guess what? There's still people that needed to move for one reason or another.
Yep.
So life had to go on.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I congratulate all of you for surviving the last year. It was one of the toughest years in real estate ever.
Yeah.
And I went through the recession. The recession was tough. My ramen noodles had to eat ramen noodles. During the recession, it was tough.
Well,
it was no fun.
And I think, the recession was more financial and stuff, and this was more like life or death, right? And so it was just great to see lots of people across the country coming together and doing what they could, to help others, even realtors coming together to help each other. And I think that's what being a human being is all about is, that positivity and, thinking, okay, how are we going to fix this? And what are we going to do to keep soldiering on?
Keep soldiering on. I like it.
Yep.
I think that's all I got.
That's all we got for today, I think.
That's it. Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Please share it out. Please make comments. Please tag your friends in there.
Yeah. I think that's the fair way to do things is to tag your friends, like Tracy Van Gundy, in this video so that we can get more likes and things out there.
Yep. TVG Fairway. John, end the show. Turn it off.